Welcome guys. Today I want to give you a quick demo on how you can use variables in API requests. Basically, I'll show you two different examples. The first one will be asking the user for a city and sending this city name into an external API to get the weather conditions in this particular city. And the second example would be asking the user for name and the age and sending these two variables into the Airtable. For those of you who are not familiar with Airtable, it's basically just a more flexible and more powerful version of Google Sheets. So yeah, let's get to the point. Let's start. The first one would be the get, so the fetch data example. Let's start with creating the city variable. So I already have it here, but basically it's just a variable called city, and the data type is US city. Okay, so right now I need to create it here and put it in a user apply and create a new block from it. Okay, so here we go. So I'm asking the user, which city do you want to get the weather for? And here I need to add an API request. Let's name it somehow simple. Let's say get weather. I have the API I want to use. And basically, if you can see my URL, it has a London. So London name in it. And basically, I'm requesting the weather for London. So if I change this one to New York, for example, I'll get a slightly different data from it. So basically, I'll just be replacing this city name with the variable. Okay, so let's copy it into Storyline and put it in the URL section. And all I need to do right now is just replace this New York thing with the variable name in double curly brackets. That's it. That's simple. And the last part is remaining the same. So I need to fetch some data from the API response. So those of you who have done this before would be quite familiar with what I'm doing right now. And for those of you who are not, I'll leave a link to the article in our help center that describes how all this stuff works. So basically, I need to put API response dot weather dot zero dot description, right? Okay, so saving, and let's go with the weather in city is value, right? So basically, I've just got the weather conditions from the API using the dynamic variables that I got from the user and sent it into the API request and put it here in Storyline. Okay, so let's test it out. Let's open one of the scales that I got. So my scale is named variables test. Here we go. And let's open the test tab to test it out. Okay, so open variables test. Okay, so which city do you want to get the weather for? Let's go with New York, for example. So as you can see, it have used two of my variables. So the first one was what user said. So basically it's New York. And the second one was the weather conditions in this particular city. Let's test it out with another city. Let's go with something sunny, I guess, with Los Angeles. So yeah, as you can see, the weather conditions are different. So yeah, it's fetching the dynamic data from the API. And that was the first example, so fetching the data. And right now, I would like to show you a bit more complex example, but it's really powerful what you can do right now. So let's build a skill where I ask the user for the first name. So I'm creating a variable for the US first name. Also, I'm asking the user for age. It would be just a number. Yep, number here. Let's go back to the editor and create a first name user apply here. Okay, so I'll also create a block from it, right? In this block, I'll also ask the user for the age. So, all right, first name, how old are you, right? And here I put a new user reply, which has a variable age in it. I'll also add a couple of synonyms to make it work better. So I'm age years old. I am age. Yeah, I think would be enough. And I'm creating a new block from the age here too. So here I'll need to create an API request itself. So in a previous example, I was using the post, the get method, sorry. And right now I'll be using the post one. So basically with the get one, you get data from somewhere, and with the post one, you send data somewhere. Okay, let's name our API request as save info. Let's go back to the Airtable and create a new template here. Let me quickly sign in with my Google account here. Yep. So I'm creating a new template here. So basically, as you can see, it's pretty much similar to how Google Sheets look like, but it's more flexible and more powerful in terms of using it with API. So I have a new column here. It's called name. Let's rename the second one with the age. And I need to add two more. So let me explain what will I add there. So as you can see, we have also added two built-in variables that you can use right now. It's available everywhere. You can send it to any API. So basically, the first one would be Amazon user ID. So basically, it's a unique identifier of the user who uses your skill. So it would be the same for all the devices user has. So basically, if user have used your skill from Echo Dog and in the morning, and then it came to your skill back in the evening from Echo Show, for example, this unique identifier will stay the same. So you can send it to an API too. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so let's go back to the Airtable and set up two new columns. So this one would be Amazon user ID. Yep. And let's add a new column and save a timestamp too. So basically we have also added a timestamp. So basically it's just like a current time of your response in Alexa skill. Okay, so here I have my template ready, and right now I need to get data from put data to this table from Storyline. To do that, I need to use an API. So basically, here is my key. You can find it under your account section. And if you go to the API documentation, I can find my untitled base template here. and find how to list records. So basically, all I need to do is copy this URL right here. Oops, sorry, I was using the list records one, and we're actually creating a record. So we'll need this one. Okay, so we need to copy this URL, put it into storyline. So create data. Here is the URL. We need to choose the post params, and let's go back to the API. So also we need to use headers to be able to write data into this table. So I'm just copying this one. So no thinking, just copying inserting here. And right now I need to prepare the main part. It would be the body of my API request. So basically, all I need to do is just give me a sec. Let's open my table right here and update the page. Okay. To create a new record. Okay, so okay, so let's go back to our Airtable and put just some random data here to be able to see the data in our API. Let's reload the page. Yep. So here we got the body we need to send. So I'm just copying it and putting it into storyline right here. And this is pretty simple. So I need to change the test data here with the variables, right? So I'm just changing test to the variable first name, age with the variable age. Amazon user ID goes for Amazon user ID built-in variable, and timestamp goes to timestamp. Okay, and I'm just saving it. Awesome. Let's remove all the data from here and remove all the empty cells too. So as you can see, our table is empty right now. So let's just test out the skill. Let's see. So my skill is named Airtable test. Let's open Airtable test. So the first one would be the first name. I'm just saying Gregory, for example, right? How old are you? Let's say I'm 30. Okay, so I right now I need to test my skill here. So I'm typing open Airtable test. Then I need to type my name. So let's say it's Gregory right here. How old are you? I am, for example, 35 years old. Okay, so I'm pressing enter on this one, and I'm quickly switching to what's that? Okay, so right now I need to test my Airtable skills. My skills called Airtable test. So I'm just going and typing open Airtable test. Right now it asks me for my name, so let's go with Gregory. How old are you? Let's say I am 25 years old. It's not recognizing my fucking. Age years old. Okay, so right now I need to test my Airtable skills. So I'm opening this scale by its name. So open Airtable test. So as we have done it here, I need to put my name in here. So let's go with Maxim. Let's go with I am 21 years old. Okay. Okay, so right now I need to test my Airtable skill. So it's called Airtable test. Let's add a question right here. What's your name? Okay, so let's start. Open Airtable test. What's the name? Okay, let's go with Maxim. I'm 21. All right, so if you go back to the Airtable, you can see that it has sent all the data I've set to the sheet. Uh, all right, let's test our Airtable skills. So to do that, I need to say Alexa, open Airtable test. What's your name? Okay, so Maxim. Okay, so how old are you? Let's say I am 21. Let's also add a quick text for Alexa says right after the API request, so we'll know that it was sent. Okay, so I'm pressing enter right here. I'm 21. Okay, so if you go back to the Airtable, you can see that it has sent all the data. So it has sent my name and my age right here. And if you go and see these two columns right here, you'll see that it has also sent the value of Amazon user ID and the timestamp. So basically, with this simple setup, you can send variables in API requests. So you can send them to get data from somewhere, pretty the same as we have done with the weather. You can send them to different APIs to save them, as we have done with Airtable. So you can do all sorts of stuff right here, and I'm really excited to see what kind of skills would you guys build. So yeah, that's it. See you in the next video.